The 5 whys is a problem solving method that explores the underlying cause and effect. All of you type CE in the chat box. CE, cause and effect. For every effect, there is a cause. Okay. If there is a problem, there must be a cause. Problem is an undesirable effect is a problem. Problem, there must be a cause. Okay. So the primary goal is to determine the root cause. All of you type RCA in the chat box. The root cause analysis. These are some terminologies you should understand. Gone into the depth. Okay. So YY, we have seen Y is equal to F of X. Okay. What is Y here? For those who are new, don't get scared. Okay. What is Y here? What is this Y here? Okay. Anybody can type. Okay. Output. Okay. Output or a problem. Okay. Y is an output. And what is the X here? X is the effect or the cause. Cause or the effect. Okay. So Y is equal to F of X means output is a function of input, or the effect is a function of causes. Okay. Effect is undesirable effect is a problem. Okay. Undesirable effect is called as a problem. Okay. If that is clear, type super clear in the chat box. So we ask why multiple times. We ask why multiple times. Last time we also discussed it. Okay. Who are the people, which category of people or which age set of people ask a lot of whys? Last time we asked this question. This time, since there are kids, yeah, kids asked a lot of why, and you don't know the answer. You say, stop asking too many questions. Right? So kids are the best why practitioners. Okay. Good. So let me go into the little bit depth. The 5 why analysis help to get to the root causes. Okay. Now, do you agree with me? The chain of causes actually leads to a problem. Type agree in the chat box or super agree if you super agree. Okay. Good. Okay. It is said that if you answer 5 times, you invariably get into the cause on which you can take action. Okay. A cause on which you can take the action, which is called as a root cause, like this. Okay. So it's called as a YY analysis or YY tree. Some people call it YY tree. Okay. Or a tree diagram. These are all equal words that is used. A tree diagram or a YY tree or a YY analysis. These are all equal words that I used. Okay. Now, when you're asking YY, it is in low complexity. It's not a rocket science. And within another method is greater complexity. Suppose if it is a greater complexity, you use another tool. YY is inside that. We are going to see YY is inside the cause and effect analysis. Okay. So defining the problem, assembling the right team, and take a lot of notes. Okay. SME is subject matter expert and CFT is cross-functional team. Okay. This YY analysis is effective only when you choose the right team. Please understand that. If it is clear, type super clear in the chat box. Okay. So defining the problem, assembling the right team, asking this thing and developing the action. You can type SC for super clear. Okay. For those people who are new, you can just type SC. Great. Okay. Thank you very much. Now let's go into the little bit of depth. As I told you, you define the problem, you ask why it is happening, then you ask why is that and why is that and why is that till you come to the root cause and a countermeasure. All of you write the word countermeasure. I'm telling you to type because if you're a newcomer, these are the words that you should be in your dictionary. Okay. Professional dictionary. All of you type CM in the chat box. Okay. It's not a chief minister. It's countermeasures. Okay. Okay. Let's be light here. All of you give me some smiley. Come on. Give me some smiley if I crack a joke here. It's not chief minister. It is countermeasure. Thank you very much. I woke up all of you. No, some of you who are slightly dozing, I woke you up. Okay. Good. Okay. Start. Now you have to focus on this slide. Please, please, please focus on this slide. Very, very important. You have a problem. If you ask why, it's the first cause. Okay. Then please see here. by repeating the why search for real root cause. By repeating why, search for the real cause, which is called as a root cause. Try to find it logically by describing physical observations. By describing physical observations. This is the first cause. Why did the first cause happens? Then this is the second cause. Then see here. If the countermeasures are taken at this stage, the failure mode will reoccur because the real root cause has not been identified and eradicated. How many of you understood this? Please give me a 9 or 10 if you have understood. This is the common mistakes people make. On the first cause or the second cause, people take countermeasures. And the warning here is, if the countermeasures are taken at this stage, the failure mode will reoccur because the real root cause has not been identified or eradicated. If this is a new learning for you, type NL in the chat box, because you might have learned the YY analysis, but people might not have given you this insight, because this insight comes from 30 years of experience. Don't conclude on the countermeasures initially, because if you can go and identify the cause of that and the cause of that, and then stop, you don't know what to do, then take countermeasures, then that's a risk. Okay. Thank you very much, and thank you for this new learning. All right. Third cause, then the fourth cause, fifth cause, then see here. Okay, okay. I'll just pause your thank you messages. That's okay. And please register for this upcoming webinar. We are going to have a fascinating journey together. Okay, we are going to have a fascinating journey together. And this is, once you become a part of our inner community, it's a lifelong association. Okay, it's a lifelong learning. Every week we are going to learn. Okay, so please join in this upcoming webinar. Don't miss it. Okay, okay. Now this fifth cause, then the real root cause usually becomes apparent during this stage. The real root cause becomes apparent during this stage. Okay. All right. So far, if it is clear on a scale of 9 to 10, give me a 9 or 10 if so far it is super, super clear. Okay. Thank you very much. So that I wanted to put it in a different version so that problem, I put YY instead of vertical. You can also put horizontal, any way that you can put. Okay, problem, cos one might have few causes, cos two can have it. It is nothing but a tree diagram, but represent in different way, because many people use Excel based YY analysis. They use Google Sheet based YY analysis, or any spreadsheet based YY analysis. So this is also okay to do it this way. Okay. Okay. Now, before that, all of you type 3gen in the chat box. All of you type. I'm going to introduce something in YY which people do not teach. Okay. They simply say YY analysis and leave it at that. But I'm going to teach you something. 3gen. Okay. 3gen. Good. Now, question to you. How many of you, if you know, type KNOW. If you do not know, type DKN in the chat box. Okay. DKN in the chat box. What is 3gen? Let's see how many of you know or don't know. This is actually from Kaizen. Okay. One is called Gemba. Now you will know what it say. Gemba means real place. All of you type GEM or GENB, Gemba. All of you type Gemba in the box. Gemba means real place, workplace, the place where action happens. Okay. So if an accident happens, you should go to the spot of the accident. That is called Gemba. If a murder happens or a crime happens, you should go to the scene of the crime. That is Gemba. When a product is rejected, that means it has been murdered. Or when it is reworked, that means an accident has happened. How many of you agree with me? So you should go to that shop floor where you have murdered the product or accident happened to the product. You are now putting, damages, rework. Okay. So then go to Gemba, which means that you should go to the place, the shop floor or the workplace where this problem has happened. Okay, nice. I see some people giving smileys. Good. I want a lot of smileys and some good this thing. Okay, shop floor investigation. Good. So the second thing is once you go to the shop floor, second is Gembetsu. Okay, Genbetsu is real product. You'll have to see that Genbetsu. You'll have to see the real products. Okay, you have to see that. Don't ask them to see. This is one of the important Kaizen principles. Go to the Gemba. Don't ask who has made the mistake. Ask why the mistake has happened. Don't attack people. Attack the problem or the process. Okay. Don't sit in the ivory tower with the white collar job in the AC cabin and ask for reports. Go to the Gemba, see the real products and play a supporting role instead of asking for a reporting role. Don't preach from a book. Be the book yourself. Walk the talk. Be a servant first, leader next. If you feel all this powerful, type powerful in the chat box or super powerful in the chat box. Because I wanted to say, this is how we should do the problem. Okay, good. Thank you very much. I invite you to be a part of this session, okay, so that I wanted a few of you. I'm not expecting all of you to be a part of my inner circle because I wanted to filter out a few of you to be a part of my inner circle. So please join in this link, register yourself and come to the upcoming webinar so that you can check for yourself how you qualify and come to this inner circle, okay? So we go to the workplace where the problem happens, do the analysis, Gemba on the real product, okay? And then check the real data, see the facts. The same thing happens in the accident. When the accident happens, you go to the spot and you check the real product. You check the vehicle which is damaged. You check the car, the road which is damaged, whichever place that is damaged, and you should see where the, the streak marks are. And then you do start analysis with the data, what time he came, and, see the camera, check the data, etc., etc. Okay, same thing with the product also. So if 3 gen is clear on a scale of 1 to 10, please give me a 9 or 10 if 3 gen is super, super clear. Let me go into the depth of it, okay? See, this is not written in books, YY books, but I'm teaching you with my almost close to 3 decades, 30 years of experience on how to see, okay? So the YY analysis, 3 fundamental rules: go to the spot, which is Gemba, touch the real objects and see, okay, this is a field, and check all the facts and speak with the data. Okay, this is how you should do. Okay, so far, if you're finding it interesting, useful, valuable, fantastic, awesome, put it in the chat box. Let me draw inspiration and give you more information. Okay, now, very important. Do not jump into conclusions. Okay, it should be possible to go back logically. Generally, people logically go the reverse order. This is also I'm telling you from experience. Let me see how people logically go from the reverse order. For example, some external body or the foreign particle has entered into the bearing. Okay, how many of you know what is a bearing is? Okay, type KNOW in the chat box if you know what is a bearing. Okay, or you can type yes in the chat box if you know bearing. Okay, okay, bearing is nothing but a sort of two concentric piece of metals with a ball in between, so that the outside is fixed and inside the wheel rotates, right? Cycle wheel or something. It's called as a bearing for movements. Okay, all right. So suppose if the bearing, a foreign particle has entered the bearing, and so the bearing is worn out, and so the bearing has slackened. There is a wobble. Okay, and therefore the vibrations have occurred, and therefore the bolt fixing the cover has slackened, and so the cover of the chain is broken. Okay, how many of you can relate to this? Type ICR in the chat box. From there, they go to the reverse order. And that is why so many people can relate to this. I'm glad so many people can relate to this, right? Therefore, therefore, therefore. It's not a why-way analysis. It's called therefore analysis. If it is a new learning for you, type NL. If it is a bulb-on moment for you, type B on. Okay. Good. All of you, I want new learning for you. I want bulb-on moments for you. Wow, moments for you. Aha moments for you. All right. Therefore analysis. Okay. Now, there is nothing wrong with this therefore analysis. Okay. There is nothing wrong with this therefore analysis. This step becomes too long. And that's why the chain of the cover is broken. A force was applied from inside. The cover came into the contact with the chain and the bolt fixing the cover was slackened. Okay. So this is, I'm sharing with you. If you don't understand this example, what I've given, don't worry. The intention is not to help you understand the example, but the intention is to tell you the difference between therefore analysis and why-way analysis. Okay. Okay, if it is crystal clear, type CC in the chat box. Okay, if it is crystal clear, type CC in the chat box. I don't want you to understand this example. That's not the intention. I wanted you to take your own examples and go reverse way, therefore analysis, or forward way, which is why-way analysis. By being precise in making shorter logical steps in the analysis, as shown, we ensure that we don't miss the possible leg of analysis. Okay. Now, little deeper. Okay, when to end the analysis? Some people ask when to. I already told in the beginning. You can even give a countermeasure at the first cause, but don't do that. But when to end the same? Analysis can be considered terminated or ended once all the causes, please understand the word, all the causes of the root of the problem have been identified, and from there a series of effective countermeasures will come or stem. Okay. Okay, let me illustrate this with you like this. Okay. Countermeasures and failure mode. All of you type FM in the chat box. FM and CM. Okay, FM and CM. Okay. Just this is the way that you should remember. FM and CM. Okay, countermeasures and failure modes. Failure mode is preventive. This is corrective. All of you type PM and CM. Preventive measure and corrective measure. Preventive measure. Okay. You can even say a radar approach and a rescue approach. Rescue approach is like countermeasures. Radar approach is failure modes. Okay. Or radar and lifeboats, right? Rescue approach is you fall into the sea and then lifeboat you can give, right? Whereas radar approach is you see whether there is a rough weather in the sea and then go. Okay. So if you like this example, give me a thumbs up. All these examples, right? Now you have a failure mode and say, hey, why, and then you get into the root cause, and then you have one countermeasure. Okay, let's focus here. Thank you. Let's focus here. You have a countermeasure, one. Okay. Then you can have multiple countermeasures. Okay. Please understand. It is not that you go to the root cause and have only one countermeasure. There are some people who teach wrongly here. Okay. There can also be another root cause, two, and you can have a second countermeasure. You can have a root cause in the second why. Please see here. In the first why? Because of this. Why? Because of this. Why? Because in the third why you have got a root cause and a countermeasure. Here, in the first why itself, it can be a root cause. Okay, second root cause. There can be multiple root causes. Please understand. Even the tree has got multiple roots. Okay, here. And here it can be second why can be a root cause. It can have a countermeasure. And if this is a new learning, type NL in the chat box, or AHA in the chat box, or wow in the chat box. And this is the way to teach. This is the way to go in the depth, okay, of this why analysis. Give people the confidence. And very important, I have told you, the subject matter experts and the cross-functional team is important. Use the people who have knowledge on the subject matter experts. Okay, don't call somebody. All of them are root causes. If you have multiple root causes, all of them would be the root causes, and you have to take countermeasures for this. I can give millions of examples on this. Okay, don't worry. I can give million. Hi, Maria Colligan, welcome. I can give you millions of examples. Okay, I'll just quickly explain again. See why there can be this is a tree diagram type. Okay, so there can be, why did this happen? Why this problem happens? Because failure mode we call. Okay, the way in us it has failed. It has failed. Okay, now there can be one reason or multiple reasons for failure. It can be this or this or this. And why this has happened? Number one has happened because of this. Why this has happened? Because of this. So when you go to the depth, at the third level, you have a root cause for which you can take a countermeasure. When you ask the second reason or second why, that itself can be a root cause. We can take a countermeasure. Or the third one, the root cause can come in the second level. It is like if you see even the roots of a tree, some roots can be root over root over root over root, and something can be a final root. And something, a final root can be in the beginning itself. Okay. Now, Mr. Krishnamurthy, if it is clear, Mr. Krishnamurthy, yes, you can type super clear in the chat box. Okay. Now, if you see here, let me see some examples. I'll see some simple examples. You ran through red light, why? Late for work, why? We discussed this earlier, so I'm going a little fast on these examples, okay? Late for work, woke up late, alarm didn't work. Why alarm didn't work? Because battery got exhausted. Why did battery got exhausted? I forgot to check, and that's a root cause, okay? That's one example we gave. Water leakage in the pipe, why? I mean, whatever why I given is one of the ways, okay? The real thing you might have different why. In this why, it can't support water pressure. Why? The pipe isn't adequate to support water pressure in that area. Why? It was changed 2 weeks ago and it wasn't checked if it could support the water pressure. Why? Standard check for the correct functioning of the pipe wasn't completed. Why wasn't completed? Because the person in charge wasn't familiar with the standards. Okay, so non-compliance with the standards when changing the pipe. Okay, if this is clear, give me a thumbs up. Okay, if this is clear, give a thumbs up in the chat box. So the question is, what is the primary purpose of 5 why technique? Okay, to develop a detailed project plan, to determine the root cause of the problem, to create a financial budget, to analyze market trends. Okay, the winner will, the correct answer will win a chocolate. Of course, this is good. All of you win chocolates, okay? And I'll send chocolates to all of you who have said B, okay? And this is your chocolate, okay? Our client is refusing to pay for the leaflet what you have printed for them. Why is the client refusing to pay? Because you delivered late, which they cannot use. Why did you deliver late? Because the job took longer than expected. Why did the job took longer than expected? We ran out of printer ink. Why did you run out of printer ink? The ink was all used on a large last minute order. Why did you use on a large last minute order? We didn't have enough ink in stock and couldn't order new supplies in time. Countermeasures. Find the ink supplier who can deliver in a shorter notice so that we can continue to minimize inventory, reduce waste, and respond to the same. If this is clear, type SC, super clear in the chat box. For those who are not clear, don't worry. Don't worry. There are millions of examples. So, okay, fantastic. Okay, why didn't you meet the sales target? The store was closed for 2 days, so we didn't meet the sale. Why was it closed for 2 days? This CEO, no, this new CEO, he came and he said the stores is too dirty and needed to be thoroughly cleaned. Okay, don't put the countermeasures as change the CEO. Okay. Okay, why was it too dirty? Because the overnight cleaners did not come as scheduled. Why did they not come? they were having car troubles. Okay. Why? Their mechanic had hired a first year apprentice who was not familiar with the car brand. Okay, so this is one example, and there can be a lot of examples with that. In some companies, you have unauthorized manuals or copies, like ISO documentation, old documented, obsolete documentation you will be having. So this is a YY for that. Can't find the instructions in this manual. Why? The manuals are online and difficult to find the instructions. Okay. The problem is staff is actually relying on unauthorized copies. Okay. The quality managers removed the printed copies. Why? Because some auditing agencies saw the old versions of the printed method. Why? There isn't time to keep 200 printed methods up to date. The solution is improve access to online documentation system and make sure that there are enough computers and tablets in the places where the staff needed to read methods. Okay, again, my request is don't try to go into this thing to understand this, but see that if you ask why, you can uncover many solutions. If this is clear, type SC, super clear in the chat box. Like go to the one more example, maybe electronic mixture stopped working. Why? Okay. So electronic mixture stopped working. Why? Because the motor powering mix won't run. Fuse. Why? Because fuse broke. Why did the fuse broke? The motor drew too much current. Why did the motor drew too much current? The motor was overloaded. Why? The material being fixed higher weight than the design limit. So the solution is identify the proper weight limits for the mixing load. Okay, this is for the mechanical engineers. Now, somebody is asking why always 5Y. See, I'm showing examples with 5Y. There can be 3Ys or 6Ys. Okay. Okay, so the question, how many times typically you ask YY in the YY analysis? Okay. 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, 6 times. What is the correct answer? Chocolate. Naturally 5 times. Okay. Typically, I'm asking how many times should you typically this thing? Okay, this is a 5 is the correct answer. Okay. Suppose the room is too cold. Okay, this room is too cold. Why is it too cold? Because I opened the windows. Why did you open the windows? I opened the windows because inside it was too hot, so I opened. Why was it so hot inside? Because the heating was high inside. Why was the heating was high? Because the air conditioner I had a winter setting, so the heaters were on. Okay, why were the heaters on with the winter setting? Because nobody told the maintenance person to change to summer setting. Why didn't they tell the guys to change to the summer setting? Because the maintenance department does not have a schedule for routine activities. So the maintenance department, if you have a schedule for routine activities, he will do it properly. Okay. If you like this example, give me a 9 or 10. Okay. So you can also write in multiple ways. For example, see, you should limit this exercise to the problem where people can do something about it. Okay. So because our habits have changed since COVID. Now look at this. This is COVID example. Okay. This is a COVID example. Okay. Why does nobody came to office anymore? Okay. Because habits have changed during COVID. Why did the habits have changed during COVID? Because the management decided that we should work from home from the beginning of 2022. Why? Because they wanted to keep the teams and business safe. Why? Because it was important to ensure continuity of our activities during COVID. Why? Because etc. etc. Okay. It is just to tell you. Okay. You can represent in multiple ways. For example, another example was why did the bacterial contamination happen? The salad were not properly washed. Why? Automatic washing machine equipment was not functioning optimally. Why? The regular maintenance schedule were not consistently followed. Why? The maintenance team was unstaffed and overwhelmed with other priorities. Why? The budget constraints led to the reduction in staff level. Okay. So the last question for the day is, okay, which of the following best describes the YY technique? A statistical method for quality control. Okay. A brainstorming session for generating ideas. A problem solving tool used to explore cause and effect relationships. A financial analysis tool for cost reduction. Let's see who gives the right answer. People are just pouring left, right, and center. Okay. So problem solving tool to affect cause effect. Fantastic. Okay. All of you get chocolates. Okay. All of you get this particular chocolate. You can share this piece. Okay. Okay. And in conclusion, when to use this 5 why? One advantage of the 5 why method is that it takes very little time. An experienced team can complete it within 1 hour with a good moderator. Okay. It is simple and can be used for almost any problem. When raised by half the problem will be solved when we discuss why. Okay. Whether raised by the team members, noticed by supervisors, or anyone, there's just a vague sense of an issue. Okay. It helps in communication and thinking. And generally in Six Sigma project, it's used when processes involve human interactions. But it can be a good start for brainstorming any process.